What's up, cool people? How's everybody doing? Welcome to another combo stream recording session thing, whatever you want to call it. Um, yeah. So, Bible study for this time around is going to be Judges 5 and 6. And then I'll be getting into some Assassin's Creed after that. I will say that, like, while while I'm doing this stream, I'm gonna mention this, but I'm probably also gonna put like some sort of poll out there on my socials. Cause if you weren't here for either of last week's streams, I finished up EDF Insect Armageddon. At least, like the main campaign mode thing. And I don't really plan on streaming, or I don't plan on recording too much more of that unless maybe I do a review of it. And I'm not going to be streaming too much more of it either. So the question is how to proceed from here. Because, yes, I do still plan on finishing up Assassin's Creed, at least the first one. But what I'm not sure of is, do I just push that and only that until I finish it and then hop into all the Kingdom Hearts games that I want to play through and just go like hardcore, not hardcore, but like, pretty much only do those for a while, at least, during recording sessions. Or the other option is, Assassin's Creed was planned for this week anyway, so, like, what's happening today was always the plan. But, the other option is, do I continue playing Assassin's Creed, but then, like, alternate back and forth with Kingdom Hearts until I finish Assassin's Creed? And then I guess the follow-up question is, do I continue to alternate Kingdom Hearts with another game? Or do I just, push that real hard and get through those games as quickly as my stream/recording schedule will allow me? Because, I guess the trouble in terms of, like, looking at my videos that I've published and trying to gauge which is the better decision, it's because right around the same time that I went to the, let's try, bouncing back and forth between games strategy for my upload schedule, was also around the same time that I made a tweak to my editing, basically including, at least in most cases, a, like, kind of hook clip, you might say. Something at the start of the video to give people a sense of what it's going to be like, throughout the video, and be more of an eye-catching moment rather than just me doing some simple little introductory thing. Because especially with YouTube being how it is, there's like the video preview thing. It basically starts playing the video whenever you hover over it. Or if somebody's on mobile, like if that's like the main video within their view, it'll just start like auto playing the video. So then if you have something more eye-catching at the start, it's more likely to bring people in and, get them to watch. So the fact that I made those two transitions at nearly the same time makes it a little harder to judge, okay, which one was the one that actually made a difference in my viewership. Plus, honestly, past couple of weeks, my views have kind of trailed off a bit. Been on a slight decline. But anyway, personally, I think I'd rather just, you know, go all in on Assassin's Creed, wrap that up, and then get into all the Kingdom Hearts games. Especially because those are going to take me a while as it is. And trying to bounce that back and forth with another game the whole time through is only going to make it take longer. Anyway, hi Ukulele. Nice to see you. Your viewership is lower right now too. Maybe just a seasonal thing. It could be. Come to think of it, the slight viewership increase that I had, especially on my YouTube stuff, probably also corresponded a little bit with when a lot of students would be on their winter break. So, them being back to school now might also account for the declining viewership. But, I don't know. That's just sort of an educated guess. Anywho, by the way, I've kind of started acting upon some of your suggestions from a while back in terms of the stream viewership anyway. I've been getting better at, like, you know, plugging my streams in, like, self-promo channels and stuff on Discord. And I've been at least occasionally just reaching out to people, letting them know about my streams, when I generally do them, and that kind of stuff. Not necessarily as many people per week as you suggested, but anyway. Right. Yeah, and that also is a thought that I had to consider, 'cause, like, I also just recently had the thought cross my mind, at least on YouTube, like, should I split my content? Like, have the Bible study stuff on a different channel than the gaming stuff? But I had to think about, okay, what exactly am I trying to do here? And would splitting those channels really benefit what I'm ultimately trying to do? And I lean towards no on that. Because the idea is draw people in with gaming content, but then also, like, while they're right there, have Bible study and other similar kinds of stuff available for them to watch without having to go somewhere totally different. Really the only reason I'd split the channels is because, you know, algorithm stuff and thinking I get more viewers just in total. But it's not just about the viewership. It's also about the whole, like, all right, where am I really trying to point them? And if I split stuff up like that, I'd maybe get more views on, you know, this current channel that would then be focused on the gaming stuff. But then in all likelihood, I wouldn't be bringing those people as easily into the actual Christian Bible study, faith-based content. So I'll think about a YouTube algorithm. Saying, don't have your mom follow your game stream. Mom probably doesn't watch any other game streams, and it confuses the algorithm. Yeah. So that's like, were it just the viewership that I was concerned with, then yeah, I would just completely, without much thought, split the channels. But yeah, so I guess then it's like, all right, there's also the possibility of, okay, if I split the channels, it brings in significantly more viewers, and I can just, like within each individual channel cross promote and say, hey, I've got this other stuff if you're interested. So, I mean, there might be sort of a workaround that still gets to the heart of what I actually want to do without sacrificing potential viewership. So, anyway. But of course, in terms of the live streams, I don't think it would really make much difference, especially if I split the channels now, because like I'm not inclined at least to like go live with one kind of thing in one spot and then go live in another place immediately after with a different kind of content. So, really, I think the live streams would all still be on here pretty much the same as they are. The only difference is then, with the later recordings and edits and things like that, where the non-live versions of this stuff would end up. But anyway, all right. So, just something I've been considering. That's two potential polls I might put out there to, viewers and followers of mine on various platforms. Anywho, probably about time now that I move on to the Bible study, since I've gotten all those thoughts pretty much laid out there. Gotta change to this scene over here in OBS. All right. So I suppose, I mean, all right, so that chapter carries on from the previous one. And then what? Chapter 6 gets into Gideon, which also flows through multiple chapters worth of stuff. But anyway. All right. Just trying to get a sense of what I'm doing here. Without further ado, I suppose it is time to start the Bible study. All right. So we are looking at Judges chapter 5, and given that the last chapter revolved around Deborah, this chapter is sort of a continuation of that. So for context, Deborah was what they called a judge of Israel. I think it also described her as a prophet, but basically she was a leader figure that people would go to for advice or wisdom from God or similar things like that. And she called upon a man named Barak to go and attack a particular army that was ruling over them at the time. And the long story short, they succeeded, but not in not in a way that anybody really expected. The commander of the army fled the scene. What was expected was the opposing army being just outright destroyed. But the commander fled, wound up finding somebody who seemingly should have been friendly because they were known allies of a sort to the king whose armies he commanded. But for whatever reason, the wife of this family wound up just, when the guy went to sleep, wound up killing him in his sleep. So not only is the army just completely devastated, their commander's dead, and then we get into this chapter. So, with that context out there and known, let's dig into the chapter here. So here we go. Judges chapter 5. On that day, Deborah and Barak, son of Abinoam, sang this song. And since it says on that day, I figured that's why the context was important. Anyway, so they sang this song. And I'm not going to try to sing it, I'm just going to read the words of it. Israel's leaders took charge, and the people gladly followed. Praise the Lord. Listen, you kings. Pay attention, you mighty rulers. For I will sing to the Lord. I will make music to the Lord, the God of Israel. Lord, when you set out from Seir and marched across the fields of Edom, the earth trembled, and the cloudy skies poured down rain. The mountains quaked in the presence of the Lord, the God of Mount Sinai, in the presence of the Lord, the God of Israel. Okay, I am going to pause here and there just to look back at what's been said thus far. I mean, as with a lot of songs you find within the Bible, it's usually either some sort of like praise of God about things that he has done, or just God's awesomeness, for lack of a better way to put it. Or, on the flip side, could be some sort of, lament, some sort of like, basically saying how terrible the situation is and crying out to God for help or something to that effect. This seems more so the former, for good reason, because they had just, wiped out the armies of the king who had been oppressing them for, I think that was the one where it said it was 18 years, but anyway, at least a couple of decades. Also sometimes battle, victory type songs, yeah. And this is probably going to get into that type of feel. But so far, it seems like, it's kind of praising God for past things done and just general mighty acts of God, you might say. And I also find it interesting in verse 3 here, where it specifically says for the kings to pay attention. I guess because, the idea is, it could potentially be a warning of sorts to other opposing nations, but also just wanting to spread the word without any hostility, so to speak, spread the word about the God of Israel, and maybe these other nations will hear about this God and want to know more, or possibly even want to then give Israel's God praise. So, almost like Old Testament evangelism of a sort. Assuming this wound up being spread, throughout the area to other kingdoms and nations and people groups. Just, I don't know. Something to think about, because, we don't tend to think about evangelism so much in reference to the Old Testament. It was more so just, evangelism, air quote, by rule, by just conquering and having possession of, a certain area of land. But there was also this aspect to it that wasn't so much the conquering. Anyway, all right, about time I move along. I enjoy talking about this stuff. I'm trying not to get too long-winded on any particular section, though. Okay, verse 6. In the days of Shamgar, son of Anath, and in the days of Jael, people avoided the main roads, and travelers stayed on winding pathways. There were few people left in the villages of Israel, until Deborah arose as a mother for Israel. When Israel chose new gods, war erupted at the city gates. Yet not a shield or spear could be seen among 40,000 warriors in Israel. My heart is with the commanders of Israel, with those who volunteered for war. Praise the Lord. Okay. Some things to think about in that little section. So Shamgar was the judge prior to Deborah. Doesn't say a whole lot about him other than apparently he was strong and or very good in battle. And this was actually the person who wound up killing the commander of King Jabin's armies. King Jabin was that king that had ruled over them prior to the most recent battle and them singing this song. So basically, because of their oppression or, being ruled by King Jabin, the people of Israel, I think what it's saying in here is that, they didn't really want to spend too much time out in the open. They didn't want to, do anything that would have seemed like parading around, being proud of themselves to any extent, for fear of King Jabin being like, hey, things are going too well. These people might, try and rebel against us or something. And then they would just get killed or whatever, or taken prisoner or something to that effect, in all likelihood. There were few people left in the villages of Israel. Let me take a look at the footnote there. Meaning of the Hebrew is uncertain. Okay. So, this is probably one of those, this is what we think the translation would be, roughly. But again, more so the, not trying to stand out too much kind of idea. And then, of course, getting into why they were in a bad situation in the first place, because they had started worshiping other gods. And they weren't really prepared for any kind of battling. So, how could they have put up a rebellion if they weren't really in a good position to fight? But, despite these circumstances, Barak and I think it said 10,000 other troops went to battle. And so, I think that's where this little bit of, praise of a sort for those who went and fought comes in, because it was despite the circumstances, people still, went to try and fight for our freedom. Our, in this case, being, Israel's. Anyway. Okay. Moving along. Verse 10. Consider this, you who ride on fine donkeys, you who sit on fancy saddle blankets, and you who walk along the road. Listen to the village musicians gathered at the watering holes. They recount the righteous victories of the Lord and the victories of his villagers in Israel. Then the people of the Lord marched down to the city gates. Wake up, Deborah, wake up. Wake up, wake up and sing a song. Arise, Barak, lead your captives away, son of Abinoam. Down from Tabor marched the few against the nobles. The people of the Lord marched down against mighty warriors. They came down from Ephraim, a land that once belonged to the Amalekites. They followed you, Benjamin, with your troops. From Machir, the commanders marched down. From Zebulun came those who carry a commander's staff. The princes of Issachar were with Deborah and Barak. They followed Barak, rushing into the valley. But in the tribe of Reuben there was a great indecision. Why did you sit at home among the sheepfolds, to hear the shepherds whistle for their flocks? Yes, in the tribe of Reuben there was great indecision. Gilead remained east of the Jordan. And why did Dan stay at home? Asher sat unmoved at the seashore, remaining in his harbors. But Zebulun risked his life, as did Naphtali on the heights of the battlefield. Okay, pausing there for a bit, because I've gone through a fair number of verses here. Footnote there about the village musicians also says the meaning of the Hebrew is uncertain. So I guess really the main thing that, the Israelites had to, I don't want to say to fall back on, but the main way that they had of recounting God's glory and might in a time when they were, oppressed in a way and, not very strong was, hearing these tales, whether just songs or stories or whatever, of God's prior victories. And that's like, back in these days, history and tradition was kept a lot more orally, for the most part, than in writing, because a lot of people couldn't read. And the ability to read and write was definitely much lower than it is for the most part today. And it probably varied a bit more just from place to place. Plus, the ability of, or the access to things to write on wasn't really as widespread as it is today either, because they didn't have the tools and equipment to make paper as easily as we do today. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, the people would just hear these stories or these words of wisdom from the people around them, and that's how they would really have any idea of things that happened in the past. So really, in a time when they weren't very strong from a military standpoint, and they really only knew being ruled by somebody else, they would hear these stories of what God did in the past. And that was really their main semblance of, God, of any sort of idea that God could, deliver them from their state of oppression, so to speak. And then, we briefly kind of get into, all right, here's kind of what went down to, deliver Israel from its oppression. So it was Deborah, encouraged Barak to lead some troops against, King Jabin's armies, and they came down from Tabor, which I guess was in or near Ephraim, and it basically just wound up being the tribes of Zebulun and Naphtali that were engaged in this conflict. Any of the other tribes didn't really get involved. And that's why it's getting into... although it does mention Issachar here as well. So maybe it was Issachar, Zebulun, and Naphtali. Or it mentions Issachar more positively, I should say. And Benjamin, I guess. So that's 4 tribes that possibly were involved. But it says Reuben was indecisive. Tribe of Dan stayed home. Asher sat unmoved. So it's like they could have had even more help in this. But those tribes didn't help. Which, you know, is all the more reason, I mean, combined with just circumstances of everything, and how basically just some random person wound up being the one to kill the commander, points all the more to, hey, this was a God thing. This wasn't like our combined strength on its own that did this. Footnote there, where it says, but in the tribe of Reuben there was great indecision, as in some Hebrew manuscripts and Syriac version, which read searchings of heart. Okay. Masoretic text reads resolve of heart. So, still, the phrase searchings of heart is probably more so a thinking, reflective, like, should I not? Is it like, could point to some indecisiveness. But anyway, really a lot of these footnotes just kind of give insight into, as much as possible, why the wording is the way that it is in this particular translation. Anyway, okay. I still have a fair bit to get through. So let me continue on to verse 19. The kings of Canaan came and fought at Tanakh near Megiddo's springs, but they carried off no silver treasures. The stars fought from heaven. The stars in their orbits fought against Sisera. The Kishon River swept them away, that ancient torrent, the Kishon. March on with courage, my soul. Then the horses' hooves hammered the ground, the galloping of Sisera's mighty steeds. Let the people of Miraz be cursed, said the angel of the Lord. Let them be utterly cursed, because they did not come to help the Lord against the mighty warriors. So I guess there were some other people. I don't know if this was within Israel or nearby, but still other people that could have helped that apparently didn't, because otherwise why would the angel of the Lord want them to be cursed? I mean, it even says right here, because they did not come to help the Lord. So now Jabin was, if I recall correctly, a king of Canaan. I don't know if he also kind of had alliances with other Canaanite kings, which would explain more, saying that this is plural instead of just a singular king of Canaan. But yeah, so as it described in the last chapter, Jabin's army had, I think it said 900 iron chariots or something to that effect. So basically more so like higher technology, tougher equipment and weaponry and things like that. As opposed to Israel's forces in this case probably having a pure numbers advantage as far as number of troops. But so this was basically the opposing armies coming against Israel in this particular conflict, and just giving us a kind of poetic description of that. Real quick, look into chat. Yes, it's good when translations add the additional nuance of words from the original language, history, or culture. Doesn't necessarily exist in the translated word in English. Yeah, because, like, when you're translating, there are often multiple possibilities of what something could mean. And especially if you're trying to get into, like, colloquial phrases or figures of speech, that even more so can be harder to translate. Even recognizing that it's any sort of colloquialism, but then even just, like, trying to get a sense of what the actual, like, more literal meaning of the colloquialism would be. Anyway, man, I don't know why my right eye is kind of bugging me at the moment. Also might want to get a sip of water here. Anyway, okay, so describing King Jabin's armies coming against Israel and kind of the lack of help from other people nearby. And then we get to verse 24. Most blessed among women is Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite. May she be blessed above all women who live in tents. Sisera asked for water, and she gave him milk. In a bowl fit for nobles, she brought him yogurt. Then with her left hand she reached for a tent peg, and with her right hand for the workman's hammer. She struck Sisera with the hammer, crushing his head. With a shattering blow she pierced his temples. He sank, he fell. He lay still at her feet, and where he sank, there he died. From the window, Sisera's mother looked out. Through the window she watched for his return, saying, "Why is his chariot so long in coming? Why don't we hear the sound of chariot wheels?" Her wise women answer, and she repeats these words to herself. They must be dividing the captured plunder, with a woman or two for every man. There will be colorful robes for Sisera, and colorful embroidered robes for me. Yes, the plunder will include colorful robes embroidered on both sides. Lord, may all your enemies die like Sisera, but may those who love you rise like the sun in all its power. Then there was peace in the land for 40 years. After, the song being sung. So, yeah, Jael was the woman that actually wound up killing Sisera, who was the commander. And Heber the Kenite, Heber the Kenite and his family, as the last chapter said, seemed to be on good terms, or at least okay terms, with King Jabin, and thus you would think also with his commander. But, and it doesn't even say why, but for some reason, when Sisera comes to their tent to get rest after fleeing the battle, she winds up killing him by driving a tent peg through his head. So, while, the people of Canaan or whatever, others back on King Jabin's side of things might have been expecting, victory parade or something like that, or at least to, see their forces come back home because of previous victories and whatnot. They're like just sitting there waiting assuming that, all right, they're gonna win, so, but they're also wondering why it's taking so long. And the only explanation they can come up with, because they assume Cicero would be victorious, is that, oh man, there must be some really great spoil that they're just figuring out how to divide up and bring it all back. But what actually happened was utter defeat at the hands of Barak, Israel's troops, and, at least in the case of Cicero specifically, at the hands of Jael here. So, all that shook down. The fight was won by Israel. And then after they, pushed back, moved out, possibly even killed, if I remember right from the last chapter, King Jabin, then there was peace in the land for 40 years. Assumedly, that's about how much longer Deborah would have lived. Because most of the time it was whatever the lifespan of the judge wound up being. The people of Israel continued to seek the Lord and obey him throughout the life of the judge. But then shortly thereafter, they would fall away again and start worshiping other gods again. Because of not having a strong leader while having things go well. Well, presumably anyway. At least those were definitely some contributing factors. But anyway, okay, so that wraps it up for Judges chapter 5 and the story of, Judge Deborah and the things that happened while she was judge. Okay, and that was just the one chapter. I really didn't expect when I started going through that to get into such detail on so many things from just like a song. But there's usually more to kind of unpack and figure out within the songs because it's being stated more poetically rather than directly and literally. All right. And keeping up the 2 chapters per week of Bible study, we'll get into chapter 6, even though this kind of begins a different saga. Although there's still 2 other chapters after this one, so that still kind of maybe works out. If I'm only doing 2 a week, I would have to kind of cut it off somewhere in the middle of that. Anywho. Alrighty. On to the next chapter. Okay. So now we're looking at Judges chapter 6. We've gone through 4 of Israel's judges at this point. There was Othniel, Ehud, Shamgar, who was only mentioned very briefly, and then Deborah, whose rule, or I guess that's the best word to describe, whose time as judge was described in the previous 2 chapters. So now we're getting into a different judge named Gideon, and we'll dig into the details in this chapter and a couple of the following. But unsurprisingly, it's probably going to say, all right, well, the Israelites started worshiping other gods, they got taken over by such and such king, and then God raises up this person to be judge. And yeah, it's the cycle here. Like, none of it's really super duper different from any other situation in terms of the broader context. Anywho. Okay, Judges chapter 6, here we go. The Israelites did evil in the Lord's sight, so the Lord handed them over to the Midianites for 7 years. The Midianites were so cruel that the Israelites made hiding places for themselves in the mountains, caves, and strongholds. Whenever the Israelites planted their crops, marauders from Midian, Amalek, and the people of the east would attack Israel, camping in the land and destroying crops as far away as Gaza. They left the Israelites with nothing to eat, taking all the sheep, goats, cattle, and donkeys. These enemy hordes, coming with their livestock and tents, were as thick as locusts. They arrived on droves of camels too numerous to count, and they stayed until the land was stripped bare. So Israel was reduced to starvation by the Midianites. Then the Israelites cried out to the Lord for help. So yeah, there's the Israelites did what was evil, got handed over to the Midianites, and then because of their oppression, they cry out to God for help. Which, the time frame isn't as long as was mentioned for some of the previous kings that ruled over them or people groups that took over the land. But apparently the situation was more dire, probably causing the people to cry out for help quicker because of how dire the situation was. Anyway, verse 7. When they cried out to the Lord because of Midian, the Lord sent a prophet to the Israelites. He said, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. I brought you up out of slavery in Egypt. I rescued you from the Egyptians and from all who oppressed you. I drove out your enemies and gave you their land. I told you, I am the Lord your God. You must not worship the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you now live. But you have not listened to me." Then the angel of the Lord came and sat beneath the great tree at Ophrah, which belonged to Joash of the clan of Abiezer. Gideon, son of Joash, was threshing wheat at the bottom of a wine press to hide the grain from the Midianites. The angel of the Lord appeared to him and said, "Mighty hero, the Lord is with you." Kind of a surprising, maybe even ironic thing to say under the circumstances, but we'll get into that in a bit. So it says that the Lord sent a prophet basically telling the Israelites, hey, you're complaining to me because of your situation. Let me tell you why you're in this situation to begin with. You done messed up. You turned away to other gods, which I specifically told you not to do. So, after it being made clear, or at least after it was stated to the Israelites why this was happening, then God works on the plan for deliverance. Basically, then we get to the angel finding Gideon, who, based on this heading up here, is going to become the judge who will end up freeing the Israelites eventually. And the angel says, "Mighty hero, the Lord is with you." And then we get to verse 13. "Sir," Gideon replied, "if the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us? And where are all the miracles our ancestors told us about? Didn't they say the Lord brought us up out of Egypt? But now the Lord has abandoned us and handed us over to the Midianites." Then the Lord turned to him and said, "Go with the strength you have and rescue Israel from the Midianites. I am sending you." "But Lord," Gideon replied, "how can I rescue Israel? My clan is the weakest in the whole tribe of Manasseh, and I am the least in my entire family." The Lord said to him, "I will be with you, and you will destroy the Midianites as if you were fighting against one man. Okay, I'm going to pause there real quick. So, this verse right here kind of lays out why the whole mighty hero thing was a little bit ironic. Because Gideon was, for all intents and purposes, to put it bluntly, kind of a wimp. I mean, he says that his clan is the weakest in the whole of Manasseh, and that he's the least in his entire family. Now, least doesn't necessarily mean weakest, but it could also mean that. So yeah, Gideon was not someone who you would have assumed would be called strong or mighty or anything like that. And to top it all off, not that he was the only one who would have done this, but he also was at the bottom of a wine press threshing wheat to hide from the Midianites. Partially because that, they would have had to hide what they were doing, otherwise the Midianites would have come and taken it away from them. But also just like it in general is sort of a cowardly and or weak position for someone to be in. Because if they were strong, they wouldn't need to hide that. They could, fight and, hold their own against anyone who would try to come and take their wheat that they're threshing. But that was not so. So, yeah, God says he's going to be with Gideon anyway. Then we get to Gideon's reply in verse 17. Gideon replied, "If you are truly going to help me, show me a sign to prove that it is really the Lord speaking to me. Don't go away until I come back and bring my offering to you." He answered, "I will stay here until you return." Gideon hurried home. He cooked a young goat with a basket of flour he baked some bread without yeast. Then, carrying the meat in a basket and the broth in a pot, he brought them out and presented them to the angel who was under the great tree. The angel of God said to him, "Place the meat and the unleavened bread on this rock, and pour the broth over it." And Gideon did as he was told. Then the angel of the Lord touched the meat and bread with the tip of the staff in his hand, and fire flamed up from the rock and consumed all he had brought, and the angel of the Lord disappeared. So, I don't think Gideon quite expected that to be the sign that it was the Lord. But, that's a pretty good sign. Because you don't have people just touch stuff with a staff and have it burst into flames unless it's God. And then simultaneously just, disappear. So, he was bringing an offering. That was really just kind of a hospitable thing to do when having a guest. And let me take a look at the footnote there. Hebrew says an ephah of flour, which was roughly 20 quarts or 22 liters. Seems like quite a bit of flour. But anyway, so he made some... I assume then that would be unleavened bread if it's without yeast. But he basically, pulls together what he can, because, again, they didn't have much at the time with the Midianites coming and often taking a lot of what they had. So he just kind of put something together as best he could, and brought it out to give to his guest, who he still wasn't entirely sure was a representative of the Lord, but, was aware of the possibility, I guess. I don't know. Brought it out, and then, poof, burst in flames. And angel disappears. So, then we get to verse 22. When Gideon realized that it was the angel of the Lord, he cried out, "O sovereign Lord, I'm doomed. I have seen the angel of the Lord face to face." "It is all right," the Lord replied. "Do not be afraid. You will not die." And Gideon built an altar to the Lord there, and named it Yahweh Shalom, which means the Lord is peace. The altar remains in Ophrah in the land of the clan of Abiezer to this day, the day of when this would have initially been read, or at least written. That night the Lord said to Gideon, "Take the second bull from your father's herd, the one that is 7 years old. Pull down your father's altar to Baal, and cut down the Asherah pole standing beside it. Then build an altar to the Lord your God here on this hilltop sanctuary, laying the stones carefully. Sacrifice the bull as a burnt offering on the altar, using as fuel the wood of the Asherah pole you cut down." Okay, so Gideon was worried that he was going to die because he saw the Lord, or actually an angel of the Lord face to face, but equating that with seeing God face to face, he was like, well, nobody can see the Lord's face and live. Guess I'm dead. But then God's like, no, you're not going to die. He didn't say outright that it was because it was just an angel and not the Lord himself, but still, God reassures him he's not going to die. So then Gideon built an altar to, commemorate the occasion. Probably calling it the Lord is peace, I guess, is operating under the idea of what the Lord had told him to do about going and destroying the Midianites, which would have given them peace. So Gideon makes that altar, and now God's telling him, all right, destroy these idols made for other gods, and then build an altar to me in place of those, and I want you to offer a bull as a sacrifice. I'm trying to remember what kinds of offerings bulls were required for, but there were a couple of the, sacrificial offerings mentioned prior, somewhere in the litany of laws that you get to in Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers, and that kind of section of the Bible. Would make sense in a way if that was a sin offering, but I'm not remembering offhand if that's one that required a bull. There was some offering like that required a bull, so it would make sense to me if that was the case, because then that would be like, all right, well, here's, an atoning sacrifice to make up for at least my sin, me, in this case being Gideon, to make up for Gideon's sin at the very least, possibly to try and show, an effort to atone for all of Israel. But anyway, So God tells him to do this stuff. And then we get to verse 27. So Gideon took 10 of his servants and did as the Lord had commanded. But he did it at night because he was afraid of the other members of his father's household and the people of the town. Early the next morning, as the people of the town began to stir, someone discovered that the altar of Baal had been broken down and that the Asherah pole beside it had been cut down. In their place, a new altar had been built, and on it were the remains of the bull that had been sacrificed. The people said to each other, "Who did this?" And after asking around and making a careful search, they learned that it was Gideon, the son of Joash. "Bring out your son," the men of the town demanded of Joash. "He must die for destroying the altar of Baal and for cutting down the Asherah pole." But Joash shouted to the mob that confronted him, "Why are you defending Baal? Will you argue his case? Whoever pleads his case will be put to death by morning. If Baal truly is a god, let him defend himself and destroy the one who broke down his altar." From then on, Gideon was called Jerubbaal, which means "let Baal defend himself," because he broke down Baal's altar. So, I'm also realizing it doesn't say how old Gideon is here. And the fact that he was, well, I mean, family units still stuck together pretty closely for the most part, but like, the fact that people are confronting his father about stuff that Gideon did makes me wonder if Gideon was young enough to have, just because of his age, been living in his father's house still. But in any case, Gideon does the things that God said. The people find out about it and try to confront Gideon's father, Joash. But both, definitely defending his son and also possibly kind of rebuking the people. Joash says, "Why are you trying to defend this God? Why shouldn't he be able to defend himself?" So, then assumedly, because nothing really happened to Gideon as a result of that, it also kind of, gives Gideon a nickname. This whole Jerubbaal. Looking at chat. Yeah, either Gideon was still that young or his father was that much in control or pandered to people. Yeah, I mean, his father could have been... I would hesitate to say that his father was deemed important in the area either. Although it just says his clan is the weakest in Manasseh. Not necessarily his family specifically. But in any case... Yeah, because generally, if he had gotten married, he would have moved into his own house and not so much been living with his father. Is kind of the assumption I was operating under. People who complain to the pastor about the worship music instead of talking to the worship leader. Yeah. Possibly that kind of a situation going on. It's like, all right, well, let's talk to the head of the house because they're ultimately responsible. I mean, yeah, in a sense they are, but it's like, okay, this is a bit of a tangent, but that whole, tendency to triangulate problems is something I have very close personal experience with. So, I'll keep it brief, but my personal story in this regard is I was actually a youth director at a Methodist church. Geez, that was like almost 10 years ago now. But yeah, I think it was actually right around 2014. Good grief. late 2014. I only wound up being in that position for like 6 months. But anyway, I was full-time on the staff there. Things seemed to be going reasonably well. It's not like attendance was dropping because it was already kind of low. But like, students were involved. Things were moving along. We were raising funds for things as well as, if not better than prior years. So after a couple of months, though, I wound up hearing from the pastor that there was at least a person, maybe a couple of people, who didn't like the way I was leading the youth group, was, if I remember right, how it was described to me. These people didn't come to me directly about the youth group. They came to the senior pastor. And then the senior pastor had to tell me. But here's the kicker. And I'm going to try not to sound too bitter about this, but like the senior pastor herself, yes, I say herself, Methodist churches allow female pastors. But the senior pastor herself wouldn't tell me who had complaints against me, wouldn't even give me a hint as to what they had a problem with. She just told me that at that point I had maybe a month or so. I forget if she actually gave me a specific time frame, but she said that I needed to go and try and communicate with people and figure out what was going on and try and reconcile things, with no information on who it was or why they had a problem with me. So, unsurprisingly, the people who were not willing to come to me in the first place, I never really figured out who it was or what they had against me or anything like that. So then a month after that conversation with the senior pastor, I was told they were vacating my position. Now that might not have been the only reason, but it had to have at least been a factor. Like, if there were no issues going on, it seems like I might not have been let go from my role there. Yeah. But I mean, look, if that was a common way that things shook down at that church, then I'm probably better off in the long run not being part of that. But yeah. Oh yeah, and that was my first youth director position. Now I had been an intern at a different church prior to that, but that was my first full-time youth ministry position. And the senior pastor has given me not much help on, the conflict resolution front. Anyway. So that's part of how I'm in the position I am now. Not too long thereafter, I wound up founding a job at a boarding school, like in the next town over from where I currently live. Christian boarding school. So there was still that aspect to things. It was youth ministry of a different sort, you might say. But then getting more involved at church outside of there, or at least then wanting to get further involved and not being able to do so much with that job and its schedule, I left there. And it's not glamorous, but now I work at Walmart, and at least I have more flexibility in my schedule to go and do other things outside of work. Unfortunately, most churches don't give any management or HR training, so they're often vague and non-confrontational. Like, and I had even said from the outset that if people had thoughts, problems, ideas, whatever, that they could communicate with me on that. I even, like, from day one or at least week one was like, okay, here's my contact info. Let me know if you have anything you want to say. But still, whoever, I mean, these people who took issue with my leadership there, that wasn't, to my knowledge, that wasn't the majority. Because as I was kind of on my way out, making very hurried exit plans because of the broader situation, there were a couple of people I had to communicate with and, like, hand some things over to, because I was in the middle of planning, like, a big trip with our youth group to go to a certain, like, ministry, like a certain youth ministry conference thing in the broader area, which the fundraising we had just done was going towards that. But anyway, because the plans weren't entirely complete yet, and because at the time I actually, not being 25 yet, wasn't able to be the person to register us and be the primary contact on certain reservations, there was already somebody I was in contact with about that, so I just kind of said, all right, well, you already know a little bit of what's going on here. I'm handing as much detail on this particular aspect of things to you. Hope it all goes well, but sorry, I'm kind of being forced to leave. Anyway, okay. I've gone off on that long enough. All that to say, the whole triangulation of issues is a little bit of what's going on here in these verses. And just saying I relate to that so much. Okay, anyway. I'm probably going to cut out a lot of that in the eventual edit. But anyway. Okay. Now that I've said my piece on those verses, let's move along to verse 33. Soon afterward, the armies of Midian, Amalek, and the people of the east formed an alliance against Israel and crossed the Jordan, camping in the valley of Jezreel. Then the Spirit of the Lord clothed Gideon with power. He blew a ram's horn as a call to arms, and the men of the clan of Abiezer came to him. He also sent messengers throughout Manasseh, Asher, Zebulun, and Naphtali, summoning their warriors, and all of them responded. Okay, so opposing armies and peoples coming against Israel, but the start of the resistance is also brewing. And I guess since nothing bad happened to him from tearing down the altar of Baal and whatnot, maybe that kind of earned him a little more credit and respect among his kinfolk, or at least others who would have been living near him, which generally would have been within the same clan, or at least mostly. Yeah, so those men, came and joined him, and he also sent messengers to 4 other clans, and they all responded. Then verse 36. Then Gideon said to God, "If you are truly going to use me to rescue Israel as you promised, prove it to me in this way. I will put a wool fleece on the threshing floor tonight. If the fleece is wet with dew in the morning, but the ground is dry, then I will know that you are going to help me rescue Israel as you promised." And that is just what happened. When Gideon got up early the next morning, he squeezed the fleece and wrung out a whole bowl full of water. Then Gideon said to God, "Please don't be angry with me, but let me make one more request. Let me use the fleece for one more test. This time let the fleece remain dry while the ground around it is wet with dew." So that night, God did as Gideon asked. The fleece was dry in the morning, but the ground was covered with dew. Anyway, hello Kyo over on YouTube. How are you? Also, Ukulele on Twitch is lurking. Appreciate it. Got a work call. Yeah, that happens. But I appreciate you keeping me tabbed up. Alright, so as if God hadn't already kind of passed a test of Gideon's, doing the whole thing with, like, consuming the food offering and having the angel disappear, Gideon asked God to put dew on a fleece, but not the ground around it, and then also the next day asked the reverse of God. Like, dude's really kind of unsure of himself, and he wants to be totally sure that God is going to take care of this, despite being quote-unquote filled with power, clothed with power by the Spirit of the Lord. Anyway, and there will be more of Gideon in the ensuing chapters, but that is all I've got on Judges chapter 6. Also, apologies for delay in chat response there, Keo. I do have a bit of latency built into the YouTube stream because it just helps performance a little bit with the broader live stream. Anyway, I'm generally doing pretty well. Working on some things to maybe even get myself in a better situation as far as earning money while also having a far more flexible schedule even than what I currently have, and really, honestly, better supplementing streaming and YouTubing and that kind of stuff. Anyway, did I know about Assassin's Creed Nebula? I can't say it's ringing a bell. I mean, I know there's a bunch of Assassin's Creed games out there, some of which aren't even like mainline entries, so to speak. I know there's more like platforming kind of spin-offs, some of which I actually have downloaded on my Xbox, just haven't played yet. But I'm not recalling this Nebula game. Feel free to let me know about it. I'm not saying I'm going to get into it anytime particularly soon, but it might be something to consider for the future. Also, I am pretty much done with Bible study stuff for the stream, so let me go back to this here, and I'm going to kind of rearrange some things as I shift over to, speaking of Assassin's Creed, as I shift over to playing that. Alright, I'm going to boot up the game, kind of put my webcam away for a little bit while I physically move some things over, and then I will be back in a bit. Well, I'm kind of still here. I just won't be talking into the microphone and actively responding to things. So anyway, There we go. Boot up the game first. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Here I am. Game is not released yet. Based on Indian theme, just like Assassin's Creed Mirage. Okay. Or... I also haven't played Mirage. In fact, there's a lot of Assassin's Creed games I haven't played. Just part of the reason I thought maybe I'd try and get into the series. Although I might be putting it on the back burner for a bit, because I just recently downloaded the majority of the Kingdom Hearts series. So after I wrap up this game, I'm probably going to be going heavy on those games. Let me load up the latest memory here.
Use vigilantes you have freed to
Double
block your
check
pursuers and
my
break their line of
webcam
sight.
placement is in a decent spot. Pretty sure this is the corner I usually have it in for Assassin's Creed. Oh. Didn't realize I had gotten myself to the Assassin's Bureau already. But I haven't completed any investigations. Where even am I? Okay, it says I'm in Damascus, which is what I expected. Alright. Oh, right. Second time around, I have to talk to the person in the Bureau first to know which other district to go to. Okay, also going to go into the options here. Remove the blood. Make this at least a little bit less M-rated. Can't do much about the language within the game. But anyway. Man. Okay, not gonna lie. Throat is slightly sore from all the Bible study talking and whatnot. Okay. Phone notifications are not important. I recommend Mirage. Graphics are very good. Combat's good. Okay, well, maybe as I work my way through the series, I might eventually get to that, but I am quite often not someone who hops on games early on in their lifespans. Partially just because, like, I have so many games already on my Xbox. RIP games with gold. But, yeah. Really, though, the good part of that is that it's really just, like, it has boiled my excitement for games down to just, like, the absolute bare minimum of, like, alright, which game series am I actually, like, by default, super duper excited for? And honestly, for the most part, that's like Kingdom Hearts and maybe one or two other game series. And otherwise, I don't feel the need to go out there and spend like $60 a pop on the latest game all the time. But anywho. Okay. So, I guess it's about time I get rolling here. I will be recording as this goes, but don't let that keep you from engaging in chat. Because powers of editing, if I need to, I can edit that kind of stuff out. Especially if it gets longer and more... Especially if I have an extended time frame of just looking at chat and responding to it. Alright. I've started from Assassin's Creed. Yeah, I've heard a lot of not great things about Rogue. Valhalla didn't seem to me like it had as negative of a reception as Rogue, but also wasn't exactly glowing reviews. Anyway. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna start actually playing the game now. Alright, so we are here in Damascus. I thought I had kind of left myself at the outskirts of it, but whatever. It has me here at the Bureau, which is where I need to go anyway. Because, as I seem to recall with Jerusalem, I have to talk to somebody at the Bureau first to figure out, or at least have an idea of which way I need to go. Also, real quick, might want to grab my TV remote to adjust volume there. Alrighty.
Altair, my friend. Welcome, welcome. Whose life do you come to collect today?
His name is Abu Nakud. What can you tell me about him?
Oh, the merchant king of Damascus. Richest man in the city. Quite exciting, quite dangerous. I envy you, Altair. Well, not the bit where you were beaten and stripped of your rank, but I envy everything else. Oh, except for the terrible things the other assassins say about you. But yes, aside from the failure and the hatred, yes, aside from those things, I envy you very much.
I do not care what the others think or say.
Okay, so
I'm here to do a job. So
Valhalla
I ask
seems
again,
more like
what
God
can you
of
tell
War,
me
or at
about
least
the
more
Merchant
recent
King?
God of War
Only
games
that he
made.
must be a very bad man if Al-Mualim has sent you to see
Maybe
him.
that's why people
He
didn't
keeps
like
to his own
Valhalla
kind, wrapped in the finery
as much
of
as some of the
city's noble
other
district. A busy man, always up to something.
somewhat recent
I'm sure if you
Assassin's
spend some
Creed
time
games.
amongst his type, you'll
Since it
learn
sort of
all you need
drifted
to know
away
about him.
And where would you have
from
me begin
Assassin's
my
Creed
search?
type stuff, and
If I were you,
I don't know.
I'd start with the Umayyad Mosque and Souk Saruja, both of which are west of here. Further to the northwest is Salahaddin Citadel. It's a popular meeting spot and has proved a reliable
Okay.
source of loose tongues in the past. Yes, these three places should serve your needs.
so it seems like
Thanks
I
for your
should
guidance,
be
Rafik.
headed west.
I'll return when I've gathered the necessary information.
Which west would lead me into the rich district. Alright. Might have to kind of remind myself of the controls a little bit. Okay, so that's north. West would be that way, I guess.
Welcome. I have everything you'll ever need.
Okay, I totally thought I'd be able to... Kind of thought I'd be able to jump across there. Didn't exactly work out the way I hoped. Being watched, be mindful of your actions. Yeah. I wonder if it feels the need to say that each time I get into the game just because of, like, the saving issues that my Xbox has with like the cloud storage stuff. More accurately, the 360 game cloud storage stuff.
Something caught your eye?
Alright, so am I... Okay, I'm in the rich district now. I need to find some sort of viewpoint, I guess. Probably should have looked for one a little bit sooner. Or whatever. Alright, can I climb this building?
You shouldn't be here. Be gone.
Great. I am apparently suspicious.
Leave this place.
Yeah, lovely. Well, there's a hiding spot. If it'll let me get into it without being further noticed.
Your hand for that!
Oh, yay, frame drops in the stream, but at least not that many.
I'll have your hand for that!
Okay, viewpoint.
Die, thief!
Well, that's a viewpoint, but that's pretty far away. Is there a closer viewpoint? Maybe up there.
I beg of you, just a few points.
Leave, peasant, before I make you.
It's not letting me...
Just a few
that was a bad idea.
That will cost you your life!
Out of his mind.
Please,
Save
sir,
citizen,
have any
where?
money?
Where is the citizen in need of saving?
Could you spare a few coins? No, you don't understand. I
Die,
have nothing.
thief!
Oh, there we go.
Please, help me.
Samahal.
Alright, well, find that. Well, the counterattack's helpful as long as I'm focused on the right person. It also makes me wonder why the dodge ability is any kind of necessary. Okay, really? I mean, if I had multiple of these guys actually throwing attacks at me simultaneously, then dodging would make more sense. Okay. I assume this is the citizen I was saving.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll find a way to repay this kindness, I swear it.
One of 10 citizens saved within the rich district of Damascus. Anyway, I was trying to get up onto that
What
building,
happened
I
here?
think.
Die! I'll have your head! Come back here!
Great. That was not what I was trying to do.
I'll get you!
Alright, please let me climb up the building here. Yeah, I'm like, these things look climbable. Okay. Yes, that is definitely a viewpoint. Okay. Might as well head for that. This sure is a tall building. Okay. Need to find a different side to continue the climb. There we go. Jeez. Heck of a climb this one is. This has got to be the tallest building in Damascus, seemingly by a long shot. Anyway. Alright, now maybe I'll have an idea of some of the investigations that I maybe could do. Okay, so there's... right near here there's an eavesdropping, and there's actually another eavesdropping just over there. But obviously, try and do the near one first. That is a heck of a jump. Yeah, good luck surviving something like that in real life. Eavesdropping. Where would I be eavesdropping from? Find like a bench. There's a bench. Oh, there's a bench. Okay. Sitting on the bench and eavesdropping, I think, on these guys? Yeah.
The last of it has been delivered.
Good. Make sure he also knows it wasn't easy arranging a shipment like this.
It's only wine. Some can be fickle in their faith.
Your holy book says something on the subject, I believe. Leave them that they may eat and enjoy themselves, and that hope may beguile them, for they will soon know. And never did we destroy a town that had a term made known.
What's that supposed to mean?
Never mind it. Be about your business.
As you wish.
Merchant King is preparing for a feast. Okay. Next eavesdropping thing is over here. Might as well head to that next. If I happen to bump into a citizen saving thing along the way, I guess I won't turn that down. Oh, and there's another viewpoint, like, right there. Anyway. I was trying to see also if it said the name of the dude that we're supposed to assassinate, but not on that particular screen anyway.
Your presence annoys me.
Alright. Trying to move about the streets sort of quietly, carefully, inconspicuously, so as not to draw too much attention from the guards. I don't know, personally it seems to go a little better this way, at least in terms of trying to avoid conflict, than it does climbing the rooftops. Although I might have to do a bit of climbing now to get across this gap here. So to that effect, where could I climb? Maybe here.
What they doing that for?
Really? I can't go up from that?
What a fool!
He should
What is
stop
he doing?
acting like a child.
Why? Why couldn't I go up from there? Okay, well there's a ladder here. If I knew that, I would have just gone for that in the first place. Okay, so now maybe being over here. Oh, there's like a bridge walkway thing. Okay, well now I'm across the gap at least.
Die, thief! Thief! You are
Alrighty, working my way over towards the next eavesdropping spot. Eavesdrop. Sit on a nearby bench. Well, there's a bench. And eavesdropping on whom? Seemed like it would be anybody over there. Okay, maybe it is these guys here. Yeah.
There's a problem. I need your advice.
What is it?
This morning, I went to hang the lanterns for the party.
And this troubles you why?
I forgot to remove the scaffold.
Forgot it where?
Just outside the Merchant King's quarters, above the balcony. What if it falls? It could be hurt.
Too late to do anything about it now. Just hope it isn't noticed. You can deal with it tomorrow.
There's a passage leading up to the Merchant King's quarters. How convenient. Okay, so there's also a viewpoint, like, right near here. Let me climb this building. I would hope so.
God save him. He's gone mad.
Yeah. Seems like it might be a thing that it'll let me do. Or maybe not so much. Maybe I need to go around to a different side of the building now. Really? Not what I wanted. But that might also end up working out. Oh, hello. No, you don't see me. I've also kind of wanted to try the whole, like, push somebody off a roof thing. Haven't had the greatest opportunities to attempt that thus far, though. Yeah, that's not exactly what I was going for. Whatever. Now, I'm literally at the viewpoint right now. I probably should have just, you know, gone for it before I tried pushing the guy off the roof. Curiosity got the better of me there, I'll admit. Okay. Synchronize. Viewpoint complete. Still don't see any other investigations right here. So, next thing to do would probably work my way over to that viewpoint, and then probably save this citizen along the way. But for now, diving into some hay, make myself anonymous. Okay. Yeah, the whole save citizen thing is right there. I might as well just do that since I'm close by.
We are the true children of God.
What? What? How and why am I suspicious right now? Ouch. Was that a Templar? That's a Templar, that's why. Okay, Templar eliminated.
God have mercy on your soul. This won't be
it tends to be that you're not made immediately suspicious by the regular guards, but Templars, yeah.
I will end your life. Running! You cannot escape!
Okay, there's one guy down, finally. Another guy down. Alright. This is a really bad camera angle. These delayed attacks are not helping my ability to counter. Okay. Goodbye to you. Goodbye to you. Hey, really? I had all of like 2 seconds, maybe, of not being in trouble. Yeah, darn it. Why do my counters not work half the time?
Beni yenemeyecek. Seni gözüm kapalı bile yenerim.
Only got 3 bars left on the synchronization meter. Now I'm down to 1. How? Like, also, do I just not? Hopefully you don't get the whole city on your tail this time. Also, hi Jacob. Like, I don't know if that was the whole city, but like,
Your stock are returned.
10 freaking guards within a very short time span. All because of one flippin' Templar. But it seems like it still counted the Templar kill. Alright, let's see if I have any better luck saving the citizen this time. Get a couple stealth kills in. Get in the fight. Oh yeah, fight went much better that time around, assuming there's not a second wave of guards.
He's not the last of them.
Like,
I hope so.
What the heck was the problem?
Still, best not to take any chances.
It really must have
I'll
just been the
hurry home.
Templars' fault the first time.
Don't think I'll leave it again anytime soon, either. You've done me a kindness, young man. Be assured, I won't forget it.
And vigilantes?
Who could have done?
Seems like vigilantes.
Which is why you've come to be mine.
Really? Okay, let me up, let me up.
Come see what I've brought. You'll never get away. Everything perfectly right.
I hate these, like, overhangs. Fine. Okay, that guy's running away from me. Oh, now, I guess I don't immediately need to find a spot to hide.
Can't you spare something? I'm
Okay, working my way towards this viewpoint.
poor and sick and hungry. No, you don't understand. I have nothing.
Go away.
My family's sick and dying. Could you spare a few coins?
Okay. Oh, things sure have settled down a little bit for the moment. Maybe I would be slightly better off on the rooftops. You. Okay. Those guys are gone. Where exactly is my viewpoint here? I'm close to it. Oh, literally just on the other side of this building right here. Other side of the dome. How is that a viewpoint? Doesn't seem like it really shows me much, but then again, it did reveal 2 investigations. So, okay. Hey! Sync bar augmented. Nice. And honestly, that 1 bar would possibly have been enough of a difference for me to survive that one previous fight sequence thing. Hello? Amir Saravi? Hopefully I got the pronunciation halfway decent. Anyway, hi, how are you? There's a flag over here, it looks like. Alright, come on. There we go. Flag. Only 4 out of 100 in Damascus. Oh. This is like an informant kind of dude, I think.
Safety and peace. You want information about the
Great.
city, I suppose? Right now, I don't have time. I must find some flags which have been stolen from our cache in the rich district of Damascus. But with this heat, my legs cannot carry me anymore. Would you be kind enough to help me? Return with the flags, and I'll help you as best I can.
Okay, flag collecting, starting here. Where are all the others? I get a feeling those other ones are going to be found up high. But I could be wrong about that. And if I am, I'm not sure I like my chances all that much. Okay, well, there's one. What? No. Get the flag first. Okay. I'm generally on the right path. I'm just not sure I started at the best spot. Okay. Wasn't 100% sure I needed to go up there, but I'm glad I did.
God save him. He's gone mad.
Flag there. Flag there. And do I continue going down this way, or do I need to go back up high? Back up high, it looks like. Also... flag over here? Maybe? Yep, there's a flag. Come on. Let me on the board. Fine, that works too. There's another one. Just over this way. Where is it? There's the flag. I don't see it. Oh, that's it right there. Come on. Okay. Got 3 more left to get. And still the better part of a minute to get them. Okay, I need to just make it back to the informant. Where was he? Where was he? How do I get back inside this thing. As I run around, like, basically the entire structure. Okay, there we go. Alright.
The Rafik will be happy to see these flags return. Perhaps this morsel of information will help. I was invited by Abul to one of his lavish parties. I noticed the fountain in the middle of the Merchant King's palace could be easily climbed. Use this information wisely. Now, if you'd excuse me, I must go.
Fountain in the middle of the courtyard can be scaled.
What happened?
Okay. That seems like a helpful tip for possible assassination point. Investigations complete. Return to the Bureau to begin your assassination memory. Okay. But that's the bare minimum required in the investigation. I might at least also do this just because it's available on the map. But that'll probably be in between stuff that I record. Might continue doing that stuff live, though. Alright. Taking a break from the recording portion of things. So, now's a great time. If anybody has any thoughts in the chat, to go ahead and leave that in there. Alright. I was gonna try to get back up on top of this. Why did my first attempt not work so well? I don't know. But whatever. Not a big deal, I guess. Where to go from here? Ooh, hello. Another flag. Another regular flag.
There is no one more generous
Which kind of thing is this? Right, interrogation.
Every week he opens his doors to the people of Damascus, that they may lay down their burdens and know joy. Our days may be dark, but thanks to him, our evenings are now filled with light. Praise be Abul Nukud, who saved our city from certain destruction. He spent his own coin to see us fed and clothed. His men tend to the fires that we might be warm. His kindness knows no bounds. Everything we now have, we have because of him. The Merchant King provides for one and all.
So basically, I just gotta wait until this dude's done talking,
Let his
and then go
serve
follow him
as an example
into
to us
somewhere
all.
kind of
Everyone should
secluded,
strive to be as he.
and then beat the snot out of him. Really? Can I not get through there?
You look familiar.
Okay, fine. Let me climb up on this stuff.
You are not allowed to be here. Leave.
I'm like, now where'd the dude go? Maybe over here? This seems rather out of the way. Aha! That looks to be him. Hey, you.
You will pay dearly for that.
I'll talk. I've no interest in
Those
dying
fights
for
tend
him.
to be pretty easy once
His
you realize
coin's not worth
you can
my
pretty
life.
much just go block,
wise decision.
punch,
What
block,
is it you want?
punch.
I have business with the Merchant King.
Huh? Good luck with that. He rarely leaves his chambers.
Why? Is he afraid?
Not fear. Hate. He hates himself as much as he hates the people he pretends to serve. Locks himself away in his personal quarters out of shame.
He can't stay hidden forever.
No. Those celebrations of his. He comes out to speak, to look down upon the people. A sense of belonging, I suppose. However brief.
What's wrong with him that he would hide like this?
You'll see. Now let me go.
Let you go? So you can tell him of my plan?
I won't say a thing.
No, you won't.
Okay, interrogation complete. Merchant King will come out and speak to his people during his feast. So, it seems like during the feast, we might be able to get up the scaffolding stuff to have a chance at killing him there. Which might require getting onto the scalable fountain thing first to get to the scaffolding. I don't know. I think they said it was scaffolding. Alright, I don't necessarily feel the need to do all the other investigations. That's just a set of scholars, nothing... Not exactly like a viewpoint or anything to that effect. I could hit up some of these other viewpoints along the way and honestly get most of them. Like if I went down here and here and then just kind of went east back toward the Bureau. There's a flag there. How would I get that flag?
Foolish old man.
It's seemingly not that way. Okay, let's try going up the ladder. And then maybe I can jump off the ladder. And yeah, there we go. 6 of 100 Saracens flags. Nope. Can't get up there. Okay, I actually moved a little bit away from the citizen saving thing and towards the next viewpoint, so... Not that I don't want to save the citizens, but I also don't exactly feel like I need to do every last one of those. I'm not trying to go, like, totally completionist on this. Okay. Synchronize. Although, doing more things like the viewpoints and the saving citizens and whatnot does eventually add to the synchronization meter thing. Sync bar update, 1 of 15 objectives. So then we go down here towards this viewpoint. I don't like those kinds of people in this game. They just kind of stand there, and anytime you get near them, they just push you. For no apparent reason other than you're close to them. How exactly do I get across there? That did not go the way it was supposed to. I was supposed to hop on to the next, like, platform-looking thing. Okay. See, yeah, something more like that is what was supposed to happen. Okay. I appear to be scaling the next viewpoint. Yeah. Now I just shift myself over this way. Go up on this and synchronize. Man. If only all this climbing on stuff was this easy in real life. I know some people who do a lot of, like, you know, parkour and, what is it called? Base jumping and whatnot. Like, those people are capable of these kinds of things. I am not one of such people. See, now that investigation's practically along the way. Back to the Bureau. So I feel like I might as well try and do it. Okay.
That will cost you your life.
Oh. There's also a citizen to save right here.
You dare steal in my presence? That will cost you your life.
Stop it, please! You're hurting
God
me!
save him. He's gone mad.
That's
Infantry die! Don't let him get out!
Okay, well that one's dead, even though I couldn't actually see what happened to that guard. Doggone it. I always forget about the whole, like, pushing them away thing whenever they grab me like that. Because my natural reflex is just press X to counter. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll find a way to repay this kindness, I swear it.
And...
Who saw what happened here?
Vigilantes?
Oh no!
That was not at all what I meant to do there, but whatever. Okay, looking for a pickpocket thing. Which should be over in this general direction. Makes sense that it's in sort of a crowded area.
Are you blind? Come on, come on! I've much to say.
Looking for a person, talking to another person, and hey.
It was good of you to come. It is an honor to serve. What do you require?
The letter I've given you must be brought to Salah ad-Din's camp. Seek out the one they call Hisham. He will be able to help, but tell no one else of this.
None will know my mission.
Then our business is concluded.
Okay, so the guy wearing the yellow kind of thing is the one I'm supposed to pick the pocket of. Okay. That didn't exactly go as I anticipated. Is it him that I'm supposed to pickpocket? Yes, okay. I just had to lock on to him more specifically again. Acquired letter stating the Merchant King is holding a festival within his palace.
What is it?
Well, yeah, we kind of already knew that that was going to happen. I'm almost tempted to come down here and get this viewpoint just because I'm, like, part of the way towards it already. You know what? Sure. Why not?
something? I'm poor and sick and hungry.
No, thank you.
Please, just a few
I will
coins.
climb this building just to have you stop bothering me.
You have no business here.
Hey, who sees me? You? Are you the one?
Leave this place.
You are not supposed to be here. Leave.
Okay.
Who's responsible for this?
That's, actually went surprisingly well. Oh, hey there.
Everybody! You cannot run forever! Where are you hiding? There! He's there!
Oh, hello. Okay. Maybe pushing that guy off didn't exactly kill him. No, because there was a lower landing right there. Maybe shouldn't have jumped like that. Hello, there's a flag. 8 of 100, yeah. Ain't no way, while I'm streaming and recording, that I'm gonna end up getting all that stuff. I mean, maybe way in the distant future when I've, like, run out of other things to do besides go completionist on these games. Maybe then I'll, you know, end up collecting all the flags and whatnot. Okay, where am I supposed to go from here to get to the viewpoint? Can I... Nope. Well, right. Okay, I guess Altair can't swim.
When the Animus shows you are being watched by an informed...
Okay, so it brought me back here. I'm trying to go that way. I don't think I can climb up that way. Can I climb up over here? No. Okay. See, now I'm just in, like...
Use throwing knives to deal with
try
distant
the
enemies.
things. Gamer brain mode. More so than I am like, oh, hey, let's try and actually do something practical and logical here. So there's the viewpoint. But how, pray tell, might I scale this building? Really? I've totally seen him take bigger jumps than that. Alright, fine. Probably need to go inside. And then find either a ladder or something else to climb upon. Yeah. Okay. That got me a little further up. Can I climb this to get up higher? No, that's a completely closed ceiling.
Leave now! Leave now!
You have no business here. Leave.
Why does it seem like if I don't counter the first attack, I'm, like, never able to counter any follow-up attacks from the same enemy? Okay, where's the... Oh, I can synchronize from here. I was trying to climb up higher when I didn't need to. See, now that revealed another investigation thing. Which... is that the last one? Or is that only the 5th? I wish it still kept track of that. Informer. Where is the informer? I mean... kind of an idea. But... alright, let me hop on here. And maybe go over this way. Just so I'm still on, like, a rooftop.
It's forbidden for you to be here. You are not supposed to be here. Leave.
Well, he fell down. And he's dead. That guy was a little more ready for me. But not ready enough. Okay. That's quite a fall. Or so it would appear. Alright, fine. Let me... at least that's less of a fall. And it doesn't hurt me. Okay. Now to actually, head over in this direction.
My family took me down.
Where is my informer?
Spared a few
Over
coins.
here.
I beg of you. I beg of you, just a few coins, please. No, you don't understand. I have nothing.
I am at your service.
Altair, my friend, my brother. It's been such a long time.
Another flag
Any
run
news of Ada
thing.
since she left? No. How sad. I'm sure you'll find her someday. I've heard a feather is lying on top of Abul Nukud's head. Maybe I could help you, but I have a mission myself. I have 4 targets I must eliminate before noon.
Oh.
Let's cooperate, just like old times. 2 for you, 2 for me. They are Abul Nukud's personal guards. You will spot them in minutes.
Okay, never mind. I'm assassinating other people just with a 3-minute time limit. Ideally, it should be stealth assassinations.
Spend your time teaching. You've something to say.
Oh, but I'm not supposed to cause trouble while I'm doing this. Much as I would like to save the citizen, that kind of messes up my current objective.
I need help! Please, anyone! Please, I've done nothing wrong. Why are you doing this? Heretic!
Okay. Really? You gave me an assassination target inside of this area.
What you need, I'm sure of it. Take a look. See if I'm not right.
That takes me like an entire minute plus just to find an entrance to. What? Oh, friggin' Templar. Really? Well, since the Templar already got me out of that mission objective thing, might try. Actually, you know what? Forget it. I've already eaten up enough time. Not that I'm running super short on time today, but I also don't exactly have all the time in the world. So yeah, viewpoint is there? Yeah, it looks like it's there. Oh, hello. Flag. Cool. There we go. That's what I wanted to do the first time. The game didn't want to let me do that. Alright. And this is the viewpoint, right? Yeah. And there we go. Synchronize. Okay. Did that. And this is basically the closest one to the Bureau, so I'm just gonna head for the Bureau now. That was quite a fall there. Not something I expect someone would be able to survive in real life. Okay, Bureau is this direction, apparently. Ouch. But just a little. Assassin's Bureau, where ye be? Here we go. Okay. Alright, and this is where I will actually resume recording again. Oh, man. After I give myself a second to, like, stand up or something. I've been sitting too long, maybe. I don't know. Getting a little uncomfortable with it. Just needed a little bit of a moment there to get up and move around, I guess. Alright. Anyway. Okay. Back to actually recording stuff and progressing the game. Alrighty. And we're back at the Assassin's Bureau. I did one or two extra investigations. Also got some viewpoints just to help clear up the picture a little bit.
Peace be upon you, Altair. How may I serve you?
I've done as asked and learned all I need to know about my prey.
Before we get to our actual assassination.
Then you must share your knowledge with me.
Abu Naqud is corrupt to the core and despised by his own citizens as a result. It appears he's been stealing money meant for the people of Damascus and spending it on himself. Even as we speak, he flaunts his greed, preparing for a lavish party. His guards and servants should have their hands full dealing with the guests. They won't even know I'm there.
Most impressive, my friend. The others said you'd make a mess of things, but not I. No, I was sure you'd come through, and come through you have. The Bureau is yours to do with as you please until you're ready to begin.
This guy seems far more positive in his view of Altair compared to the one that's in Jerusalem. Strike the Merchant King when he comes out during his feast to speak with his people. No duh. Okay, so I need to hit... Well, glad I did that viewpoint down in that area, because now that's where the target is. Okay. Now, in order to go that way... Really? Didn't think to try and climb up. Other stuff on the outside there. Just the most awkward positions that Altair is getting into here. Anyway. Hey Vinbos, thanks for the follow. Actively engaged in gameplay. Might follow later. But I appreciate the support. Oh, there's actually a viewpoint over here.
You must not trespass here.
That I can do.
You're a dead man.
Fortunately, this little bit of trouble that I got myself into isn't too close to my actual mission target thing. Because if it was, that probably would have just really messed things up. Okay. Seems like a very odd place for a viewpoint, given the boundaries of this district. But whatever. 8 of 10 viewpoints scaled in the rich district of Damascus. Okay. So from here I just continue heading towards the, I don't know if you'd call that a waypoint per se.
Please, sir, have any money? My family's sick and dying. Could you spare a few coins?
You must find better items anywhere else, I swear it.
There is a pathway through here, which is good for me. That's pretty much where I need to go. Now, it mentioned there could be some scaffolding and or a scalable fountain.
I'm so hungry. Just a little money, I beg of you.
Leave me alone. You are not helpful.
Please.
Leave now.
Okay. Now, where might I go to scale this? Oh, crud. Alright. Somebody come attack me. This is not an ideal position for me to be in, especially so close to the actual assassination objective. And this is a lot of guards, too. I even pressed buttons to counter. I am confused.
May God have mercy on your soul. While you still can.
I'm also confused as to why so many of my counterattacks are not actually getting rid of these guys. This is not going particularly well. Is this one where it's like just gonna keep throwing guards at me?
Stop running! You
Another one gone.
I will end your life.
These guards might just be, you know, armored enough that it takes more than one counterattack.
I will end your life.
But seriously, like, how many guards am I gonna have to fight to have even a chance at getting out of here? Okay, that one's gone. Yeah. By the time I realize I'm being grabbed, though, I'm not exactly able to react to it. There. Okay, geez. That was a heck of a thing. Now, can I do some climbing, please? And will I be able to get where I need to go by doing this climbing? No. Come on. There's got to be somewhere around here I can climb to actually get to where I need to go. Okay, I can drop from there. Well, hopefully I won't have any issues with guards for a while. Oh, yeah. This area here. Ancestors' memory synchronized, no recording. Error. What? I'm confused. Okay. So this is all part of the, you know, feast or whatever that was being described. Where might I be able to climb something? Or am I supposed to wait until the dude appears and tries to say something? Maybe I climb something a little off to the side here. Oh, this might be what was described as something I could climb. No? Yeah, it said it was a fountain. That doesn't look like a fountain. Okay, am I just being dumb here? Also, it's literally not letting me climb anything. I guess because with so many people around, that would just look too suspicious. Ah, geez, I broke the pot. Am I supposed to be focusing on anybody specifically? Oh, well, that's the fountain in question. Oh, and here's the dude that I'm supposed to kill, I assume. I just needed to go to the fountain first.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you all for joining me this evening. Please eat, drink, enjoy all the pleasures I have to offer. Take your time. I will wait. I trust everything is to your satisfaction.
Pretty sure this is just a scene I'm supposed to be watching for the most part.
Good, good. It pleases me to see you all so happy. For these are dark days, my friends, and we must enjoy this bounty while we still can. War threatens to consume us all. Salah-ad-Din bravely fights for what he believes in, and you are always there to support him without question. It is your generosity that allows his campaign to continue. So, I propose a toast then, to you, my dear friends, who have brought us to where we are today. May you be given everything you deserve for it. Such kindness! I didn't think it in you. You, who have been so quick to judge me, and so cruelly. Oh, do not feign ignorance. Do you take me for a fool? That I have not heard the words you whispered behind my back. Well, I have, and I fear I can never forget. But this is not why I called you here tonight, no. I wish to speak more of this war, and your part in it. You give up your coin quick as can be, knowing all too well it buys the deaths of thousands. You don't even know why we fight. The sanctity of the Holy Land, you'll say, or the evil inclination of our enemies. But these are lies you tell yourselves. No, all this suffering is born of fear and hate. It bothers you that they are different, just as it bothers you that I am different. Compassion, mercy, tolerance. These words mean nothing to any of you, mean nothing to those infidel invaders who ravage our land in search of gold and glory. And so I say, enough! I pledge myself to another cause, one that will bring about a new world, in which all people might live side by side in peace. A pity none of you will live to see it.
Looks like there was some sort of poison or something in the wine.
Kill anyone who tries to escape.
Oh yeah, come on. No, it won't be up. There we go. Now it will, but... Okay. There's a dead guard. There's a dead guard. Okay, I saw him go over here. So where did he go from here? Radar's showing me this way. For as big as he is, he runs pretty quick. Doggone it, I was trying to tackle him, and then there were other people that just got in my way. All these random people getting in my way are not helping. Target is taking refuge at a guard tower. Doggone it.
Kime boyun eğmek istiyor? Geldi buraya. Yes! I'll have your head!
was really hoping I don't mess up this fight too badly and wind up, you know, dying. There we go. He's gone. Why didn't it have me face that guy? I, like, even going by, you know, what the game laid out, I even had my focus on that.
We cannot run forever!
Hi. Why is it so difficult to counter a second attack when I had trouble countering the first? This is not going particularly well. No. Okay. Also, there are so many guards here. Is it just gonna throw like an endless supply of guards at me until I kill the main guy? Seems like maybe it will. Okay, countered him. Hey, there we go. Okay.
Be at peace now. Their words can no longer do harm.
Why have you done this?
You stole money from those you claim to lead. Sent it away
Not
for
gonna
some
lie,
unknown
kinda sort of
purpose.
forgot my,
I want to know where it's gone and
webcam was
why.
not in the picture.
Look at me. My very nature is an affront to the people I ruled. And these noble robes did little more than to muffle their shouts of hate.
So this is about vengeance, then?
No, not vengeance, but my conscience. How could I finance a war in service to the same god that calls me an abomination?
If you do not serve Salah ad-Din's cause, then whose?
In time, you'll come to know them. I think perhaps you already do.
Then why hide? And why these dark deeds?
Is it so different from your own work? You take the lives of men and women, strong in the conviction that their death will improve the lots of those left behind. A minor evil for a greater good? We are the same.
No, we are nothing alike.
Ah, but I see it in your eyes. You doubt. You cannot stop us. We will have our new world.
Okay. Pretty sure I'm going to be thrown right back into the fighting.
You will not get away from me!
Maybe not exactly by force, but
You cannot run!
pretty much anything just shy of that. Seriously, how many guards is it gonna have me fight? Nope. Alright, well, down to the... And the last one ran away. Okay. I need to stay somewhat anonymous.
I'll have your head.
Okay, well, hidden blade attack ain't gonna work in that situation. And there's like an archer dude. No, maybe not. Okay. Also, viewpoint? Come on, really? I'm like right at a viewpoint. I kind of almost want to get that just because. Well, there would still be another one that I'm missing, so it's not like that would complete the whole thing for me. Alright. I was not trying to do that at all. I was trying to throw that guy off the roof. Okay, heading towards the bureau.
He has found the strength to stand in defense of our great civilization.
No, why? I wanted to do that. You're dead. Okay, Assassin's Bureau is somewhere over here. That was not at all what I wanted to do. Okay. Guess I can climb this. Get back to the rooftops. Yeah, rooftop travel is definitely quicker in this game, even if it's not necessarily always the stealthiest option. Okay. Heading towards the bureau. Should be getting kind of sort of close now. Come on. No, but now I need to make myself anonymous before I can actually enter the bureau. I might as well go into this. Go. Okay. And there's the bureau. Huzzah!
Word has reached me of your success, Altair.
Abu Nakud's reign of terror is at an end.
I'm glad to hear it.
He killed them. The men and women at his party. It was poison. A coward's tool. Blamed them for the war. Said he wished to end it.
Strange, but then again, the Merchant King was known to be a bit different. Perhaps this was simply a symptom of his madness.
Perhaps.
You sound unconvinced. Speak with Al-Mualim then. He may offer a better explanation.
Yes. We'll see what he has to say.
Fast-forwarding memory to a more recent one.
And yeah, skip because I can't save my achievements for some reason. Target has been eliminated. Return to Al-Mualim. Is it gonna give me the... Yeah, fast forward.
You can create diversions with dead bodies. Soldiers will leave their posts to investigate them, allowing you to enter the area they were guarding.
Come, Altair.
Okay.
I would have news of your progress.
I've done as you've asked.
Good, good. I sense your thoughts are elsewhere. Speak your mind.
Each man I'm sent to kill speaks cryptic words to me. Each time I come to you and ask for answers. Each time you give only riddles in exchange, but no more.
Who are you to say no more?
I'm the one who does the killing. If you want it to continue, you'll speak straight with me for once.
Tread carefully, boy. I do not like your tone.
And I do not like your deception.
I have offered you a chance to restore your lost honor.
Not lost. Taken. By you. And then you've sent me to fetch it again like some damn dog.
It seems I'll need to find another. A shame. You showed great potential.
I think if you had another, you'd have sent him long ago. You said the answer to my question would arise when I no longer needed to ask it. So I will not ask. I demand you tell me what binds these men.
What you say is true. These men are connected by a blood oath not unlike our own.
Who are they?
Non nobis, domine non nobis.
Templars.
Now you see the true reach of Robert de Sade.
All of these men, leaders of cities, commanders of armies.
All pledge allegiance to his cause.
Their works are not meant to be viewed on their own, are they? But as a whole, what do they desire?
Conquest. They seek the Holy Land not in the name of God, but for themselves.
What of Richard? Salah ad-Din?
Any who oppose the Templars will be destroyed. Be assured they have the means to accomplish it.
Then they must be stopped.
That is why we do our work, Altair. To ensure a future free of such things.
Why did you hide the truth from me?
That you might pierce the veil yourself. Like any task, knowledge precedes action. Information learned is more valuable than information given. Besides, your recent behavior had not inspired much confidence.
I kind of had a feeling those guys were Templars, or at least connected with the
Templars. Your mission
Templars.
has not changed. Merely the context within which you perceive it.
And armed with this knowledge, I might better understand those Templars that remain.
Is there anything else you want to know?
What about the treasure Malik retrieved from Solomon's temple? Robert seemed desperate to have it back.
In time, Altair, all will become clear. Just as the role of the Templars has revealed itself to you, so too will the nature of their treasure. For now, take comfort in the fact that it is not in their hands, but ours.
If this is your desire.
It is. You are restored another rank. Take back your weapon. Use it to bring honor to the Brotherhood. Altair, before you go...
Yes?
How did you know I wouldn't kill you?
Truth be told, Master, I didn't. I took a leap of faith.
He's having the darndest time trying to actually, have Altair face Al-Mualim directly again. New weapon gained. Extra throwing knives. That's it? Just extra throwing knives. Which I honestly have not even used. Maybe in some of those situations where I'm just, like, taking out individual guards on the rooftops, that might be handy, because then I could just, I could just throw some of those knives at the guards and, like, hurt/kill them individually that way. Huh. Didn't even realize there were flags to collect at Masyaf. Anyway.
On your target.
So, yeah. Well, there's only one place left, and that would be Acker. But I suppose we'll work on getting there in the next recording. I'll probably just... Well, you know what? With the fast travel stuff, I can kind of just do that now. Get myself out of Masyaf here. and fast travel to at least the entrance of Acker. Because I doubt I'm going to do much in between. Since I'm not going, like, completionist with this, it's not like I'm going to be, you know, recording every single bit of, like, getting viewpoints in the broader kingdom map, or really anything to that effect. So, let's find us a horse and head on out of here. So I do indeed have 10 throwing knives now instead of 5. Since I haven't used them, I still don't really know how they get replenished. But whatever. Alright, getting to the border of Masyav so that I can do the whole fast travel thingy. And head on over to Acker.
Use counterattacks when faced with multiple enemies to gain the advantage in combat.
Given the way that the maps have been revealed with the various districts in each place, though, I'm pretty sure there's another round of assassinations to go after this. So I doubt I'm that close to the end of the game just yet. Anywho, okay. I have made it at least to some extent into Acker, and that is where I will leave things off. At least within the recordings. I don't know if I may or may not do more of this right now. Let me take a look at the map here, see if there's anything that... There's nothing really between where I am and the Bureau. However, while I'm not recording, I may actually back out to the Kingdom map. Just because. And then I might try and do the final couple of viewpoints there. Not going totally completionist, but maybe at least, you know,
fight will allow you to quickly dispatch
doing all that kind of
enemies
stuff.
thrown to the ground.
Also, just got a text message. Somebody I somewhat often meet up with for lunch is not available to do that today. So there's a little less time that I will need to be away from my apartment, and more time that I might be able to just be here and either editing or... Oh, good grief. I didn't realize that just being near those guards would have automatically made me suspicious or whatever. Okay, real quick. Dismount. Get in the hay. That was kind of the plan. I didn't realize I would do it that smoothly. Okay. Now, y'all... I would appreciate it if you guys just sort of moved away from me. You're not going to do that, though, are you? Not until the rest of your group catches up, at least. Okay, so... Once the path branches off, I guess I need to head to the right. And they're still not going away. Oh, wait. Now maybe they are. Much as I actually kind of don't mind the combat, it's not like I'm, you know, really itching to get into it at every possible moment. Okay, hopefully by doing the whole blending in thing on horseback, you know, I won't exactly cause trouble with these guys. So yeah, I've done all the recording, per se, that I plan to do today. But I figure, you know, as a bit of a stream, a bit of a live stream extra bonus bit, I might do some stuff that's not directly recorded, and maybe try and fill out the rest of the kingdom map. Two. Why? Why do you all want to fight me now? Just because I was close to you? Like, good grief. Okay, fine. Then, if that's how y'all are gonna act, I'm just gonna run away from you. And go for the next viewpoint that I have. Okay. So let me get up here. I think this is where I want to go. Hold up, there's a branching path to the left, but it doesn't seem like I can really get through there very easily on horseback. So maybe I go this way. Okay, maybe up here on the hill. Is that a Templar? That's a Templar, isn't it? I do want to fight the Templars. Okay, Templar eliminated. I know I said I didn't want to fight these guys so much, but in order to kill the Templar, I had to kind of stop and let these guys catch up to me. And at that point, fighting just made more sense than trying to run away. Okay. There we go. Now, maybe I can focus a little bit more on actually getting to the viewpoint that I want to get to. Whoa. Alright, so if I go up here... Yeah, I think this is about to look familiar. Possibly like somewhere that I previously wound up dying to a group of guards. Or maybe not. Viewpoint's coming up here. Oh, jeez, really? Okay, dismounting. Still have a little further to go, though. Alright, I'll just go on foot from here. Where even is the viewpoint that I'm looking for? Seems like I'm darn near right at the thing. You're dead. Because otherwise you were probably going to try and kill me. Hey, look at that. I'm making use of the throwing knives.
Get him! You will not get away from me!
Okay. Hello there. Goodbye there. Okay, now seriously, where the heck is this viewpoint? Okay, it's that one up there, isn't it? That's why I thought it would look familiar. Because it definitely does now. I just wasn't coming at it from the same angle that I thought I was. Oh, okay. I guess I have to be locked on to them to just inherently use that and have it hit them. Nope. Come on, I'll tell you. Just fight with the dude. Okay. More guards coming to investigate. More that I'm gonna have to fight.
All down! Was steckst du? There's just overly exaggerated big swinging attacks actually kind of throw me off a bit. I hope it's not gonna let them like throw me off a cliff or something. Another one going. Another one gone. Okay. I'm slowly making my way towards this viewpoint. Ooh, can I hide in the hay and become anonymous again? Yes, please, maybe? Yay. Okay. And somebody's already suspicious of me. Just immediately. Nope.
Assassin! Don't let him get away!
Ouch. didn't have me locked onto the guard, which is why I wasn't actually blocking or countering anything. Okay. There we go. And like the change in the color indicator thing had me thinking I was done fighting for the moment. But no, I was not. Alright. Now let me actually climb up this viewpoint here. You know. Do the thing that I actually came here to do. Okay. And that leaves only one more viewpoint in the entire kingdom map. Now I'm on a different horse. I can't be the same person. I'm riding a different horse. Why would you be suspicious of me? Okay, you know what? Just for curiosity's sake, is this the best direction to head? To go towards that. I'm not so sure that it is. Let me turn around this way and see. Yeah, okay. So I'll go down here and then just kind of stick to the left. At least for a bit. Right? Yeah. Don't really care, because if I'm galloping, I will eventually get away from you all anyway. Okay, yeah. I want to go for, like, there. And then head left. Trying to go a lot quicker with this viewpoint, though, than I did with the previous one. How exactly am I supposed to go? Oh. What? No, that can't be where I'm supposed to head. Maybe up this path over here. Whoa. Is this where I go? That doesn't seem like the right path either. Whoa. Odd. Hey, there's a flag over here. Can I get it while I'm on the horse? Yes, I can. Yay. Okay, but seriously, there's gotta be some way of getting up to there. Okay, let me remove the marker now. So the way that I'm facing it shows it just a little bit to the right. But then with a path heading left, I don't understand. No path there. Well, while I ponder how to get to this viewpoint. Alright, King Richard flag collected. 13 of 100. Yeah. Really? Why would you jump into the water when there was a perfectly good post right there? I did not have the left stick pointed that far off from it. Come on.
The animus shows you are being watched by an informed.
Okay. Let's try that again. Alright. Now then. I am seriously trying to figure out where this path is. It's supposed to get me up to that viewpoint. I also do not have my horse now, which is a bit annoying. I don't think this is the right path. But I don't see the other path that is supposedly there for me to get to the... I don't get it. Alright, let me try a different approach. I would like to find me a horse. And then just come at this from a different angle. There's a horse. Okay. So, let me go ahead. Over this way. Whoa. This possibly be where I can find the path I seek. Maybe? It seems to connect back to here, though. So how in the world do I... I don't see any, like... Whoa. This is starting to bother me more than just a little bit. Okay. Let me try up here. This path would make some sense. Also, good grief, phone notifications. Whatever, Discord. Nothing super duper important. Okay. Perhaps this is the path I seek. If I, like, head to the left from here.
That was not very nice.
Okay, let me go ahead and highlight that again. I'm thinking now I might be on the right path. Would be a lot more helpful if this game showed, like, elevation changes of the different areas and things. Yeah, okay, I think I think I'm headed the right way now. That took a little more thinking than I thought would be necessary. Okay. Need to climb up the side of this to get the flag. 14 out of 100. Yeah. That's still a lot. Oh wait, no. Blending. Blending. Why are you following me? You were headed the other direction. Why did you turn around? I was hoping they would continue going the other way. And then I could just move along here at a faster pace. Alright, you know what? Forget it. Oh, and just like that, I guess I'm far enough away from them that that's not an issue. Okay. Well, that wasn't exactly easy to get to. Don't mind me, just looking around here. Certainly not doing anything suspicious. Besides, what's it matter if I try and climb up this tower? It's not like there's anything up here that I could get that you would want to keep me away from. Okay. Another King Richard flag. And synchronize. And that should be the last viewpoint for the kingdom map. Alright. All viewpoints scaled within the kingdom. Yeah, it shows that like it's connected. That is not connected. There's a broken bridge in there. Granted, I mean, if I just, you know, skip. Granted, were I to, you know, merely gallop across the broken bridge, I think it would let me make that jump. I'm just gonna run away from you guys. Because you're not really that close to me. And I definitely don't think on foot that you'll be able to catch up to a galloping horse. Checkpoint reached. Okay, so where would be the best? I guess the easiest thing to do would be to go to Masyaf and then fast travel myself back to Aker. Okay, need to take a sharp left from here. Whoa. In fact, might even need to go back up this way first. Uh-oh. I have glitched out the horse. Hey, what's up, Yalu? I'm just, at this point, just kind of messing around, you might say, in Assassin's Creed. I made some progress on the game basically completed part 2 of Damascus earlier in the stream. Hope I'm having a good day. So far, pretty good. Got the same N64 shirt. Yeah, I've noticed it's a somewhat common one. Along with the Dragon Ball Z shirt that I have. I don't know if they still currently are, but I think at one point they were both sold at Walmart, which might explain things. Really might explain things, given that I work at Walmart. But I didn't even buy this shirt or the Dragon Ball Z one. They were like, you know, gifts at some point or another. I would think more so Christmas gifts. Birthday gifts I've gotten have tended to be less clothing and more so just like
or climb over buildings to break your pursuer's line
either
of sight.
gift cards or other items that I more so asked for. T-shirts, whether or not officially in a stocking, tend to go more under the stocking stuffer category
to
of
reach
gifts.
a rooftop. Climbing on buildings, however, is not.
Okay. Now that I've made it back to Acker... Really? Just because I happen to, like, walk into a guard? How am I supposed to get out of this hot mess? Yeah. This isn't exactly looking good for me. And I can't just hide in the hay here either. Well, guess I gotta fight. One last bit of action to wrap up the stream. Still can't see half of what I'm doing with these counterattacks. But I know I'm killing off some of these guards. And more guards coming towards me. Great. That's exactly what I wanted.
You haven't won yet.
Look on it. Did the whole grab break thing just a little too late. And more guards. This is the kind of stuff that I assume would get quite bloody if I had the blood turned on.
La colère sera terrible. Je vais t'étriper.
See, sometimes it's the long wind-up on some of these attacks that throw me off more so than the quicker ones. Okay. Now that I'm not directly in the middle of combat,
Damn! Where are you? I know you're here somewhere.
that might be a place to wrap things up. Even though there are other guards right here investigating the scene.
Who's back?
I don't think they're... I don't think if I leave the game and come back to it that it's going to stay like that, though. So anyway. Okay. I think that'll do it for today. Oh yeah, in other news, I don't know who all might have heard about, you know, the fact that I bought some RAM sticks, but those are now officially installed in my computer. I now have 16 gigs of RAM instead of 8. I don't know if that's going to have a significant effect on streams and other things like that. But it can't hurt, right? Anywho. Alright. Let me see who I might be able to raid, and then I will wrap things up. But in the meantime, I appreciate y'all coming by and watching the stream. So I'll put a poll out there on my socials regarding how to proceed. Whether I should just finish Assassin's Creed outright and then go into Kingdom Hearts, or if I should kind of bounce back and forth between those. But yeah, that's what I'm considering, because I would like to get into Kingdom Hearts games fairly soon here. It's just a matter of whether or not I completely finish up this game first, or if I like start Kingdom Hearts next week, maybe bounce back and forth between them until I finish this game, and then maybe still have another game that I'm actively playing through before I finish, well, basically another game that I would play through alongside Kingdom Hearts. I don't know. I'm leaning more towards the former option just because I really like to focus on Kingdom Hearts games once I start those. But I'm open to some input on that. Anywho, anyway, that is going to do it for the stream, I suppose. And now I've only got one viewer, so it's like, do I raid? Is that even a worthwhile thing? Well, now it says 2. Anyway, okay, I'm just gonna make up my mind here. Go ahead and get the raid ready. And yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully I'll see y'all soon for another live stream. I stream pretty much this time every Thursday and Saturday evenings starting around 6:30 or 7 p.m. Central. The Saturday streams are generally more relaxed, easygoing, just kind of like it was toward the tail end of this stream. But anyway, hopefully I'll see you soon. Whatever the case is, till next time, stay cool, everybody.